When Hyun Bin isn't acting, the truth behind those gentle eyes. What if the most captivating love story ever told on screen wasn't scripted at all, but whispered in the unguarded glances and gentle touches that slipped through the cracks of a meticulously planned production? In the whirlwind world of K-dramas, where every heartbeat is choreographed and every tear is timed to perfection, Hyun Bin's portrayal of the stoic North Korean captain Ri Jeong-hyuk in Crash Landing on You mesmerized millions. Not just through his character's quiet heroism, but through the effortless way his real-life tenderness toward co-star Son Ye-jin bled into the frame, turning fiction into something achingly real. It's these unscripted moments, captured fleetingly by behind-the-scenes cameras, that reveal a man whose off-duty self is even more disarming than his on-screen intensity. Hyun Bin, the actor who has commanded battlefields from The Swindlers to Confidential Assignment, isn't just playing a role when he reaches out to steady Ye-jin. He's living a quiet philosophy of care that transcends the set, reminding us that true charisma blooms in the spaces between takes. Long before their characters tumbled into each other's worlds via a freak paragliding accident over the DMZ, Hyun Bin and Son Ye-jin were already orbiting one another in the rarefied air of Korean entertainment. Their paths first crossed in 2018's thriller The Negotiation, a high-stakes hostage drama where Ye-jin played a sharp-witted crisis negotiator and Hyun Bin her shadowy counterpart. Off-screen, sparks were subtle, shared laughs over split-screen rehearsals where they bantered without ever sharing the same physical space. But it was Crash Landing on You, directed by Ri Jeong-hyuk and penned by Park Ji-yoon, that ignited the blaze. Airing from 2019 to 2020 on TVN and later conquering Netflix globally, the series amassed over 2.5 billion minutes viewed in its first month alone, blending rom-com whimsy with geopolitical tension in a way that felt both escapist and eerily timely. Filming began in earnest in Switzerland's lush Alps for the opening sequences, a logistical nightmare involving helicopter drops and sub-zero hikes. Yet it was here, amid the Edelweiss blooms and misty peaks, that the first unconscious acts of care emerged. I remember watching the behind-the-scenes footage for the first time and feeling that electric pull. The way Hyun Bin's eyes softened when Ye-jin shivered in the biting wind. A vulnerability that made my heart ache with recognition, as if I'd glimpsed the blueprint of devotion itself. Picture this. A crisp autumn day on a remote Mongolian set doubling as North Korea's rugged borderlands, where the crew battles dust storms and the relentless Mongolian sun. The script calls for Yoon Se-ri, Ye-jin, the glamorous South Korean chaebol heiress, to stumble into Captain Ri's village after her illicit parachute landing, but in one unguarded take, as Ye-jin navigates a steep, uneven path lined with faux military barracks, her boot catches on a loose rock. Before the director can yell, "Cut," Hyun Bin, supposedly off to the side reviewing lines, is there, his hand extending like an instinct, fingers brushing hers just enough to steady her balance. It's not dramatic, no sweeping music swells, no close-up lingers. The camera catches it almost by accident, a raw snippet amid the bloopers, where the cast dissolves into giggles over mispronounced lines. Hyun Bin later joked in a U Quiz on the Block interview that he was just making sure the paraglider didn't take another tumble. But the truth lingers in his sheepish smile. That split-second gesture, so devoid of calculation, speaks volumes about a man who internalizes protection as second nature. It's the kind of moment that makes you pause mid-binge, coffee forgotten, and wonder, how much of Ri's unyielding guardianship was Hyun Bin channeling his own unspoken code? In an industry notorious for its grind, 16-hour days, endless reshoots, such small anchors feel like lifelines, evoking a profound sense of warmth that lingers long after the credits roll, much like the comfort of a loved one's hand in yours during a storm. Delving deeper into the production's labyrinth, these instances weren't isolated anomalies, but a constellation of quiet intimacies that dotted the 16-episode shoot. Take the infamous boat kiss scene, a pivotal mid-series crescendo where Ri and Se-ri steal a desperate embrace amid smuggling waves on the Yellow Sea. Rehearsals were notoriously tricky. The cramped vessel rocked unpredictably, and Ye-jin's elaborate hanbok threatened to snag on every railing. In one blooper reel, released by TVN to fanfare in early 2020, Hyun flubs his line, "I can't let you go like this," reversing it into a comical murmur that sends Ye-jin into peals of laughter, her hand instinctively clutching his sleeve for support. But rewind to the setup. As the crew adjusts lights, Hyun is seen fussing over her costume's hem, kneeling briefly to tuck away a trailing silk thread that could trip her during the dip. It's the details that save the scene, he quips to a nearby PA, but his focus is unwavering, eyes tracing her form with the precision of a tailor and the tenderness of a partner. Fans dissected this clip on platforms like Reddit's r/crash landing on you, where one user marveled, "It's like he's directing her safety more than the romance," sparking threads that ballooned into thousands of upvotes. This isn't mere professionalism, it's the alchemy of empathy, transforming a logistical hurdle into a testament of trust. Reflecting on it now, years after the series finale, I find myself moved by how such acts mirror the series' core theme: love as a borderless force, slipping past barriers unseen. In an era where celebrity couples are often packaged for headlines, Hyun unassuming vigilance feels refreshingly authentic, a balm for anyone who's ever loved from afar, yearning for that one gesture that says, "I've got you," without a word. As the cameras rolled on more intimate sequences, the veil between performance and reality thinned further, revealing Hyun care as a subtle undercurrent that elevated every frame. During the filming of the Exhibit of Scars episode 9, where Ri bears his past wounds to Seri in a candlelit confessional, the set was a cocoon of hushed reverence. Ye-jin, perched on a low wooden stool in a recreated Pyongyang safe house, delivers her lines with raw vulnerability. But off-script, it's Hyun who notices the draft seeping through the ill-insulated walls. Without breaking stride, he shrugs off his wool officer's coat, authentic military surplus sourced from historical consultants, and drapes it over her shoulders mid-rehearsal. The gesture, immortalized in a candid still from The Swoon's YouTube compilation, shows Ye-jin glancing up in surprise, her lips curving into a genuine smile that crinkles her eyes. "Hyun oppa, you're going to freeze," she teases in the footage, but he waves it off with a playful shrug. Captains don't feel the cold. The crew chuckles, but the moment resonates deeper, echoing the character's own line about enduring for love's sake. This wasn't the first time. Earlier shoots in Switzerland for the reunion finale saw similar patterns. Hyun lingering by the paraglider harness, double-checking buckles as Ye-jin prepared for her 6th-attempt leap into his arms. Each failed take, where she overshot or the wind tugged wrong, ended with him steadying her landing, his arms a safety net beyond the stunt coordinators. It's these vignettes that fueled the Dooley couple moniker, a nod to the Edelweiss flower symbolizing purity in the show. And they stir in me a quiet admiration for the unspoken pact of co-stars who become confidants. In Hollywood blockbusters like The Notebook, such chemistry is mythologized. But here, in the gritty realism of K-drama production, plagued by monsoons, script rewrites, and the 2020 pandemic delays, it feels earned, profoundly human, like the steady rhythm of a heartbeat syncing two lives. Yet, to truly appreciate the depth of Hyun unconscious nurturing, one must zoom out to the broader tapestry of their collaboration, woven from years of mutual respect that predates romance. Before Crash Landing on You redefined their legacies, Hyun was already a titan. His breakout in 2005's My Lovely Samsoon showcased a boyish charm that evolved into brooding intensity in war epics like Hide, Jekyll, Me. Ye-jin, meanwhile, had carved her niche as the queen of melodrama in Something in the Rain, her poise a counterpoint to his gravitas. Their reunion wasn't serendipity, but strategic genius. Producer Kim Young-sub handpicked them for the leads, citing in a 2020 Variety interview their effortless synergy from The Negotiation. But synergy alone doesn't explain the footage from Episode 4's market scene, where Seti haggles with villagers in a bustling faux North Korean bazaar. Amid the chaos of extras and prop carts, Ye-jin twists and ankles slightly on the cobblestone set. Nothing major, but enough to wince. Hyun, filming a perimeter patrol nearby, breaks character seamlessly, crossing the set to offer his arm, murmuring something inaudible that draws a relieved laugh from her. The director, Ri Jeong-hyuk, later praised this in a Busan International Film Festival panel. Hyunbin's presence grounded us all. He anticipated needs before they arose. It's a sentiment echoed in co-star testimonials. Kim Jung-hyun, who played the sly Chi-soo, recalled in a Soompi feature how Hyunbin organized impromptu morale boosts, like sharing homemade bibimbap during 18-hour night shoots. These acts, far from grand gestures, accumulate like snowflakes into an avalanche of affection, leaving me with a lingering sense of envy-tinged joy. Who wouldn't crave a partner whose vigilance feels as natural as breathing, turning the exhaustion of creation into shared strength? Expanding on this, the psychological underbelly of such care reveals why it captivates. In the high-pressure cauldron of filming, where egos clash and fatigue frays nerves, Hyunbin's subtlety becomes a masterclass in emotional intelligence. Consider the piano scene from Episode 6, a tender interlude where Ri plays a forbidden South Korean melody for Seri, their fingers brushing over ivory keys in a symbol of cultural defiance. Behind the romance, rehearsals were fraught. The antique upright, shipped from Seoul, required precise fingering to avoid clunks that could derail audio. Ye-jin, not a pianist by trade, fumbled a chord progression repeatedly, her frustration mounting under the hot lights. Enter Hyunbin. Instead of critiquing, he slides onto the bench beside her, guiding her hands with feather-like corrections, his voice a low hum as he hums the tune to reset her rhythm. The resulting blooper, Ye-jin dissolving into giggles when he over-embellishes a trill, went viral, amassing 5 million views on YouTube within weeks, with commenters dubbing it the moment chemistry went canon. But beneath the levity lies profundity. Hyunbin's approach, informed perhaps by his own rigorous military service in 2005 to 2007, embodies servant leadership, a trait psychologists like John Gottman in the 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work link to lasting unions. It's no coincidence that post-series, as rumors swirled, their real-life courtship mirrored these dynamics. Quiet dates in Jeju Island cafes, away from paparazzi glare. I confess, replaying that clip evokes a pang of wistful longing. In a world of performative allyship, Hyunbin's brand feels like a rare vintage, aged, unpretentious, intoxicating in its sincerity. Of course, no exploration of these moments would be complete without acknowledging the cultural ripple they created, turning Crash Landing on You into a phenomenon that bridged divides. Globally, the series sparked tourism booms in Switzerland's Interlaken region, with paragliding tours rebranded Ri Jumps, and domestically, it humanized North-South tensions through humor, earning praise from critics like those at the Korea Herald for its subversive tenderness. Hyunbin's role amplified this, his off-script shields for Ye-jin, like the time he blocked a rogue prop cart during a chase scene in Episode 11, earning a playful scold from her for stealing the heroics, humanized the star system itself. In interviews, Ye-jin has reciprocated, sharing at the 2025 Busan International Film Festival how every day was happiness on set, crediting Hyunbin's steadiness for making grueling shoots joyful. Their 2022 wedding, a low-key affair in Seoul's Grand Hyatt attended by 40 guests including Lee Byung-hun, felt like an extension of that set magic. Simple vows exchanged under cherry blossoms, echoing the show's motif of love defying odds. Parenthood followed in 2022 with son Hyunwoo, revealed subtly via family photos and glimpses of family life, like Ye-jin's 2024 snack truck surprise on Hyunbin's Harbin set, adorned with Crash Landing throwbacks and a note reading, "Husband, come home, underscore the continuity. It's these threads that weave the personal into the universal, stirring in me a reflective gratitude. In an age of fleeting swipes, Hyun Bin's example whispers that love's truest script is improvised, line by line, in the quiet acts that say more than words ever could. As we peel back more layers, the theme of subtlety in these interactions ties inextricably to broader lessons on partnership, where grand declarations pale against consistent, nuanced support. In Crash Landing on You's finale, Ri's promise to wait a lifetime for Seti culminates in a Swiss reunion. But the real poetry unfolded in production notes. During those Alpine reshoots, delayed by COVID protocols in 2020, Hyun Bin volunteered for extra night shifts to cover Ye-jin's vocal rest days, his baritone narration for voiceovers a seamless stand-in. A Kabizum retrospective captured him massaging her shoulders post a 12-take embrace, her head lolling back in exhausted relief. A tableau so intimate, it blurred professional boundaries. This isn't showmanship. It's the essence of what relationship experts term bids for connection. Micro moments that, per Gottman's research, predict marital success with 87% accuracy. Hyun Bin embodies this effortlessly. His actions, a counter-narrative to toxic masculinity tropes in action flicks like his own Extreme Job. Fans, in turn, have mythologized it. Pinterest boards overflow with Ri-inspired date ideas, from scarf-tying tutorials to playlist shares of the OST's Here I Am Again. Personally, these stories hit like a gentle wave, washing over the cynicism I've built from too many scripted romances. They reaffirm that vulnerability, when met with grace, forges bonds unbreakable as the Han River. Venturing further, let's linger on the hospital sequence from episode 7. A feverish delirium where Seti hallucinates Ri's face amid her collapse. The set, a sterile mock-up in Goyang Studios, demanded precision. 4 drips, beeping monitors, Ye-jin feigning collapse repeatedly for authenticity. Fatigue set in by take 15. Her energy waned, voice hoarse from scripted pleas. Hyun Bin, monitoring from the sidelines, stepped in unbidden. Fetching electrolyte pouches from craft services, he knelt by her gurney between setups, coaxing her to sip with a conspiratorial wink. Think of it as Ri's secret serum. He deadpans in the clip, eliciting her first real laugh of the hour. Director Lee later told El Korea that this infusion of levity saved the scene's emotional core, preventing burnout. It's emblematic of Hyun Bin's holistic approach, mindful of body and spirit, honed perhaps from his Taekwondo black belt discipline or the introspective downtime post his 2011 espionage hit Secretly, Greatly. In a landscape where actresses like Ye-jin face scrutiny over aging out of leads, she was 37 during filming, his advocacy feels revolutionary, a quiet feminism in allyship. I find it profoundly reassuring, a reminder that in collaborative arts like film, true genius lies not in solo brilliance, but in elevating others. Much like how a single Edelweiss withstands alpine gales. Theory through to their post-crash synergy, these on-set rituals evolved into a blueprint for their life together, influencing projects like Hyun Bin's 2024 World War II drama Harbin, where Ye-jin sent morale-boosting care packages echoing his old gestures. In a 2023 Vogue Korea spread, she reflected, Hyun Bin taught me that love is in the anticipation, seeing the need before it's voiced. Their son, now toddling into the spotlight via blurred pap shots, inherits this legacy. Family hikes in Namsan Park, leaked via fan cams, show Hyun Bin hoisting him piggyback while Ye-jin snaps photos. A cycle of care unbroken. This continuity amplifies the original moment's impact, transforming fleeting clips into enduring archetypes. As global audiences, From Brazilian marathons to US TikTok edits, revisit the series on Netflix's top charts even in 2025. Hyun Bin's subtlety endures as the emotional lodestar, evoking in me a swell of optimism. Perhaps the borders we erect, be they geopolitical or personal, crumble not with fanfare, but with the soft insistence of a hand extended in the half-light. To extrapolate further, consider the paragliding opener, shot in exhaustive detail over Lake Thun. Ye-jin, harnessed and helmeted, battled vertigo for authenticity, her pre-jump jitters palpable in rehearsal logs. Hyun Bin, playing the unwitting savior below, didn't just memorize cues, he shadowed the stunt team, quizzing on wind patterns to better catch her fall. In one outtake, as she dismounts shakily, he envelops her in a bear hug, scripted as brotherly but lingering a beat too long, drawing crew whistles. Safety first, swoon second, he laughs it off. But the authenticity shines through, much like Ri's initial gruff aid masking deeper chivalry. This scene's BTS went mega viral post-finale, fueling Dispatch's 2021 dating reveal that sent Son Ye-jin trending worldwide for 48 hours. It's a testament to how unscripted care begets narrative magic, inspiring fanfics on AO3 numbering in the thousands, where readers graft real-life tenderness onto fictional arcs. Emotionally, it tugs at something primal, a yearning for guardians who anticipate falls, literal and metaphorical, leaving me with a quiet resolve to seek that in my own connections. Circling back to the village integration arcs, episodes 3 to 5 brim with domestic vignettes that Hyun Bin infused with lived warmth. Filming Seti's first home-cooked meal, jjigae bubbling over a portable burner, required olfactory realism. Spices wafted thickly, irritating Ye-jin's sinuses mid-take. Coughing through dialogue, she powered on, but Hyun Bin paused the scene himself, fetching ginger tea from his personal thermos. "Can't have our heiress under the weather," he murmurs, the line blurring actor and character. Co-star Park Kwang-hyun, as the bumbling Chi-woon, attested in a 2020 press con that Hyun Bin's attentiveness set the tone, fostering a family vibe amid the isolation of rural shoots. This micromanagement of comfort, rooted in Korean Confucian ideals of harmony, contrasts sharply with Western sets' reported diva antics, offering a cultural lens on care as communal duty. It resonates deeply with me, evoking childhood memories of elders preempting needs at family gatherings, a nostalgia that softens the edges of adulthood's independence. Pushing the envelope, the smuggling escape in episode 12 tested physical limits. Night shoots in a simulated forest, actors crawling through underbrush rigged with hidden mics. Ye-jin, in practical fatigues, snagged her sleeve on thorns repeatedly, drawing faint scratches. Hyun Bin, leading the convoy, halted twice to inspect, applying salve with the focus of a medic, his army training evident in the efficiency. The footage, unearthed in TVN's 2021 anniversary special, captures her grateful nod, a silent thank you that speaks louder than applause. Such instances underscore a philosophy: love as prophylaxis, warding off harms before they wound. In broader terms, it parallels Crash Landing's anti-war ethos, where personal shields symbolize collective peace. As a viewer, it instills hope that in fractured times, like the 2025 Korean Peninsula talks echoing the show's themes, such individual kindnesses aggregate into societal mending. Finally, weaving it all, Hyun Bin's unconscious care distills to a lesson in marital finesse. In the dance of long-term love, it's the unseen pivots, the adjusted scarf in wind, the shared thermos in chill, that sustain the rhythm. Post-marriage, their joint ventures, like 2023's charity auction for UNICEF, fetching 500 million won, reflect this synergy. Ye-jin's directorial nod to him in No Other Choice 2025 includes a cameo born of such mutuality. These threads culminate in a narrative richer than any script, one that, upon reflection, fills me with a buoyant wonder. If stars can nurture so subtly amid spotlights, perhaps we all harbor that capacity, waiting for the right moment to illuminate the ordinary into extraordinary. And in that possibility lies the true crash landing, not of parachutes, but of hearts, softly, irrevocably entwined.